the message that's coming through is that there's a block. So I'm going to find out about this block. In my mind's eye, I keep seeing the King of Wands, but clearly the Six of Wands wanted to come through there. So let's find out what this block is. It does feel like this is this could be somebody in a divine connection, right? So let's first of all find out who is experiencing the block, okay? Seven of Wands. So it's something that's being overcome, or it's somebody that is currently, I've just heard fast tracking. It's like the Chariot and the Sun. It's like somebody's wanting to move towards the light, and it's like they've suddenly started fast tracking their healing, which is interesting. Knight of Wands at the bottom. So it feels like they've had a lot of battles to overcome is what I'm hearing. This is a person who's experiencing the block, okay? The Hierophant, okay? Could be a masculine energy then. It did feel like masculine energy, but at the same time, that's within you or outside of you, right? King of Wands, confirmation. Two of Wands, Eight of Cups. It's like they're leaving a situation in order to move towards this new path, higher level path, where actually their true heart's desires lay. It's like this energy of what was their previous success truly based on, and how has it actually gained them anything, right? It's like they've been driven by ego, external maybe external validation. You know, there's a message coming through, and it's that the more you focus on your betterment over someone else's downfall, the better that is for your soul, right? So you're focusing on you instead of revenge. It's like somebody knows what they don't want, but they also can take the opportunity to recognize that it's what they don't want to be, to put into the world. It's like adding darkness to a world that's already on fire, right? And they don't need to do that. They're choosing not to, if that makes sense. So this is somebody who, this is somebody, feels like a masculine energy, has very clear Ten of Cups. I think it's somebody who's they're not able to speak their truth, basically, not so far. But they've got this clear picture in their mind of what they want, who they want and what they want. There's this happiness, true happiness, the Sun and the Ten of Cups, ultimate fulfillment, 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, right? They're seeing I'm getting a fire sign masculine, earth sign feminine energy. It doesn't have to be, but this is what's coming through. Again, this could be within you. You're finding a certain kind of stability and balance within you. It's like this clarity, but also clarity on what it takes to bring that into reality. This is somebody who experiences a lot of kind of stress and anxiety, especially when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to matters of the heart is what's come through there. They're definitely walking away from a lot. The Tower, they've experienced a lot of towers in their life, okay? Five of Cups, and that's what this is what this person is overcoming right now, okay? Somebody who's looking to start a new chapter, especially when it comes to this Two of Cups energy, their soul alignment. You know, with the Queen of Pentacles there, I feel like there's somebody who, I've heard they want to leveled up love, specifically, just as I said, that Four of Wands, confirmation, union card, sacred union, twin flame card. And that's with the Ten of Cups and the Sun, okay? This is somebody who's very clear on what their vision ahead is. It's like it's suddenly become so much more apparent to them, okay? And this is the Eight of Swords. We're going to get into what the block is, because that's the message. It could be that it's being overcome now, actually, looking at these. But definitely confirmation with the Knight of Cups there and the Nine of Swords. They've definitely approached love and this new pathway of love with the mindset that just causes them so much stress and just ultimately doesn't provide them with what they want. They've had a lot of temptations. This is somebody who struggles with addictions, has been affected by some kind of, I'm hearing like a lower level kind of lower three chakra, the sacral chakra. There's something about the sacral chakra. They've had some kind of realization that I think they experienced something that was really traumatic, and this has kind of led to temptations, addictions, decisions that were fueled from a darker place. This is someone who, it feels like they could be a leader in some way, shape or form, okay? But they've also experienced a lot of loss within that capacity. They're in a position where they could have a lot of kind of minds, hearts, souls that are watching them. When I say watching, I mean in kind of looking at them to be a role model, if you will. But this is something that they've not really allowed themselves to put themselves in that role because they weren't prepared for it. They had way too much going on in the background, their headspace was not right. But now that they're seeing clearly who they are, let's just see, what is the block? What is the block that's coming through here? What is the block? Indecision, justice. I feel like, strength at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like there's two things. They need to correct something and really bring justice to a situation. But also, there's another message coming through that they're waiting for justice from a situation. And that's what's stopping this decision being made. Because with that Two of Swords, it's like a stuck progress. So they want this progress, it's stuck. So do you feel like maybe even legal matters here? The Wheel. Okay, so what is this block? Let's find out. What is this block? Six of Wands, that was coming out before. Okay, the Devil, the bottom of the deck. They've dealt with a lot of, I've heard trickster energies. Okay. But it does feel like whatever's closing out now, they're successfully going to be closing it out. That's what I'm seeing here, okay. So anything else? But yeah, definitely. Death card. It's coming to an end. Whatever it is, the block. Some kind of karma that they're handling, right? It's kind of like they're bringing balance to it so that they can... I feel like there's an appreciation of good karma, if that makes sense. Five of Pentacles. I think that they might have experienced a financial loss. And it's kind of like they're wondering if they're going to be good enough. The Fool. That's that new beginning. They're going to take the leap of faith regardless. So as soon as whatever this is really closes out, this justice energy, right? This normal feeling like I'm hearing kind of at the mercy, wow. In the hands of whoever is trying to just feed off them is what's coming through, right? Or has been. As soon as they're out of that situation, which they can't bring anyone into until that's cleared, right? Especially not a divine connection, okay? Ace of Swords, and they know this, that's the thing, they know this, that's why this block is in place, and they understand. Ten of Wands. I feel like they're seeing more clearly because for you don't know what's happening there. The Lovers. Strength again. Gemini energy, Leo energy, and Scorpios are actually, and Libra. Yeah, see, they're seeing things more clearly because they can see everything that's happening in the physical reality. There's also something about a stuckness for the feminine energy, right? Which has clearly been working for this divine feminine energy, because when you're stuck, the divine feminine is flowing, she's allowing that room, she's ascending, right? That's the divine feminine. But when she's stuck either on attachment or resentment or just anything that's been triggered from this connection, right? In the way that happens with these connections, she's still stuck there, not healing through it. She's still waiting for him to come through, or holding resentment that he hasn't, it's been so long or whatever, or just feeling really abandoned and kind of, in those energies of past wounds still that she needs to heal through, right? Don't get me wrong, that's not excusing the behaviour she's experienced, right? That's a whole nother topic. But once she clears through that, she can continue to do this, she can continue the flow, and only then can the divine masculine enter his awakening, enter the space where he can recognise his divine feminine. She's flowing, she's ascending. I need to create this safe container for her to flow and ascend in, right? Hopefully that makes sense, because it is only then that the divine masculine can actually ground the connection into the physical reality, right? So obviously we all have both energies within us, and we have to find the balance within ourselves. That is the number one priority. That is the whole point, right? So when the divine feminine's doing her thing, she's also finding her own grounded within herself. She's finding her own stability and abundance within herself, her divine truth, her divine love too, right? And then the masculine energy can also awaken to his kind of suppressed emotions and shadows, whatever that may be, okay? Right now it feels like this divine masculine energy is clearing through those. He's awoken 100%. You're both in the activated state, right? And he's kind of clearing through these what he needs to right now to bring through this beautiful new opportunity for a conversation that he has a lot of success on his mind for. He would if he's got that King of Wands energy. I mean, even though he has faced those battles for sure, I feel like there's been a lot of betrayal as well. Feels like for you, divine feminine, or the divine feminine in this particular connection, your focus is really finding that stability within yourself, increasing your self-worth, which it feels like you have been doing, right? I'm hearing, but just not waiting, right? I think that there's something about you being proactive in recognizing and understanding what your purpose is here. A win-win outcome is forecast. You know, I've heard two things with that. The first is to do with whatever the divine masculine energy is dealing with when it comes to this justice situation, right? I think he's going to finally feel free enough to just leave that weight behind him. I don't even think he's going to want to move it forwards with him in any way. He'd happily just let it all go, which suggests he's been ready. I mean, there's a tower there for a reason, right? Nothing is yet set in stone. Okay, so that's why, divine feminine, you're being guided to really focus on you. It's time to release negativity and not kind of, I'm hearing something about expectations, not hold someone's past against them, or yourself, actually, the way you've been in the past and responded, right? But also allow kind of the divine unfold is what I'm hearing. So there's no kind of expectations as such. I think there's a difference between having kind of expectations versus knowing your worth, right? You know what you are worthy of versus what you've experienced and what you don't want again. Simple. Emotions are running high. Communication is key. I feel like, you know, when this comes through, it's going to ignite a lot of emotion in you. You know, the answers you need are coming, especially because of what you're going to learn about the situation. There's going to be some things spoken on that you don't know. A time for healing. It's going to bring something out in you that you're going to need to heal through, something within you. It's kind of like closing out this kind of cycle. Communication is key again, within you. So luck is on your side. I think both energies right now need to be flexible. That's what's being asked of them both. Divine masculine needs to know that the luck is on his side. Like, he needs to recognize the situation for what it is on a higher level, the soul lessons, the soul journey, the soul healing, and the fact that actually as a divine masculine, this has helped him to travel even more deeper into himself, to ascend higher, right, into that divine self. A time to give rather than take. Yeah, I think that actually there's been a real imbalance of give and take in this connection. Step out of your comfort zone, and somebody's realized that. It's taken them some heavy, dark realizations, though. Kind of both of you balancing that in a divine feminine, divine masculine. Confidence is your key to success, okay? Nothing will come of this situation. And that's the problem with that justice and the death card. So whatever's closing out there, it needs to close out that cycle. Hold your vision. Focus on the vision ahead. You know what that is, right? You are good enough. Expect powerful change. Got Virgo energy here as well, okay? The card that came out was your dreams need a practical plan. And I feel like this is a realization that divine masculine has had to go through, right? But also there's something here about that's what's helping the removal of the block, whatever that is. It's like finally the wheels have been set in motion, which is why that wheel card came out as well, because as a result this connection is kind of moving, ascending in the right way. Even if you're not kind of together, it's happening on I've heard in the ethers. So it's kind of like you're actually, in terms of your soul contract, if you will, you're doing what you need to be doing, right? Chemistry, attraction. There could be something like, don't allow that to lead the way kind of thing, you know? Kind of passion and desire. Okay. Romantic feelings, getting to know each other, flirt. This is like, this energy is given to me, you know, when you first meet someone, you know, it's all like honeymoon. Yeah, it's given honeymoon phase. That's what it is, actually. Forgiving and learning. There's going to be a lot of this, especially for what the divine feminine experienced in this situation. There was a serious lack of reciprocation, feeling unworthy, but not because she felt that when you guys were together, but because of how things transpired, right? But again, that was just triggering within and what was already there, right? Passion, I've told you, there's something about passion. Children at the bottom of the deck. I've just said that could be something about the future too. Again, you know, you have your inner children that you that you really bring out in each other. Honeymoon and true love. That is, again, confirmation. This is a divine connection for me. Yeah, so it's kind of like there's going to be this I'm hearing like this, you know, at the bottom of this deck as well was the energy is gaining momentum. So I do feel like there's that, you know, there's going to be some excitement moving forwards once whatever this is on divine masculine side, that justice energy, the death energy, whatever's closing out in his physical reality once that's completed. It does feel like there could be a lot of kind of legalities and contracts as well. So I'm going to ask this deck actually if there's any more information on what the block is that's being experienced. Children. Worth waiting for this connection. Again, true love at the bottom of the deck. So there could be something about children involved, or it's something to do with his inner child. There's something about when he was a child. Let's see if there's anything else to confirm. Retreat. It's something for you to disconnect from. That's not your I feel like it's not for you to really know more about, if that makes sense. It's for that to be cycled out and healed over on the divine masculine side, right? For you need to be prepared for what's coming your way. I wouldn't have taken these, but they're very relevant. Deception. This has been experienced. I think you experienced divine feminine experiences from divine masculine. However, divine masculine has experienced this. I've heard tenfold in his life, and this is since he was a child. Some things have come to light. Finances and career. So there could be, again, I was seeing a lot to do with, remember I mentioned money and contracts and things. Reconciliation. This is really specific, but I have heard that it's kind of like divine masculine was deceived into believing they needed to pay their way towards something to do with a child. Really specific. So, okay. You know, not all readings are going to be for everyone. I always say this. So you just got to pay attention to the signs, to everything I'm saying. I say things for a reason, okay? But for you need to trust the process right now. Get in your stay in your, I feel like this is energy of you stay in your joy, stay in your spot, because this is energetically helping your divine masculine. Hold that faith. That doesn't mean stay attached. It means focus on you, you know, building yourself, creating yourself. But, you know, all these beautiful things that you are now getting the chance to do within this time, right? Reconciliation is on the cards, but once again, when that decision comes and that conversation, then whatever it is, however it comes through, I think it's more going to be a kind of a clarity. You're going to be going to have a clarity conversation when the time is right, okay? And as a result, you're going to have to close out the old cycle that you two have experienced, okay? Then moving forward, there's going to be another story. Again, there's a lot of kind of energy, connection, there's attraction, there's passion, there's romantic feelings, there's flirty energy, right? So it's kind of like not getting caught up in that, because that takes away from the true love that has been wanting to come through from the cards but didn't, okay? So you need to focus your energy truly. You need to ground yourself, stay in that kind of, I'm hearing a more mature space. In the past, you guys were, I think that you weren't in your mature self, regardless of age. Gemini, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Leo, energy is coming through, okay? So that could be timing, or it could just be your signs that you're kind of that you guys have in your top 3, okay? There's also something about summer that's prevalent, so there could be kind of a potent memory in that time for both of you and your connection, or just something about it that connects you both. I'm going to ask about timing, but you know, with let go of control issues at the bottom of the deck, worth waiting for divine timing. I feel like, and I'm a strong believer in divine timing, I think the message really here is allow yourself to cycle through the cycles without expectation on the other side. The only expectation you want to hold on is yourself, and you, and not even in a harsh way, be gentle with yourself as you do this, right? Allowing yourself to recognize the emotions when they come up and what they mean for you. It's not easy when you're in a divine connection, truly. It's really, the way it impacts you, no one can understand unless they're on this journey, truly. Decide to be happy now, new beginnings and a fresh start. There is, and I feel like, you know, I think that's going to be the divine masculine energy. They're going to be able to, once this is closed out again, and it's coming soon, I feel like, lean on God and the angels for support, Again, I strongly feel like that's for the divine masculine energy. But again, divine feminine too, always. Believe and trust, right? I think they just need to make that decision, or they have been making that decision to be happy, and they're recognizing where the happiness truly lays now. Whereas before, they were too overcome with all the stuff that was in the background that I mentioned, with that the Seven of Cups and the Tower, and what was the other card? Yeah, the Eight of Cups. They're having to leave all those. They're leaving those behind now, okay? You created this situation, you have the power to change it. Again, that's what's happening by masculine side. Remember, you practical plans, your dreams need a practical plan, right? And they're recognizing that, understanding that. You're on the right path. This is confirmation for both of you in this connection on your individual journeys right now. You are on the right path. You're doing what you need to be doing. Believe and trust again. So don't think that, the timing's off, it shouldn't have been like this or shouldn't have been like that. No, it needed to be exactly what it has been for your, I keep hearing soul contract, soul agreement, and for your soul journey, for you to heal through and learn exactly what you needed to do through each other in order to I feel like, your purpose is more than just your union. Remember that. And I think that's kind of what's come through this more than anything. You're taking things off on a higher kind of divine level. You don't even know. And you just think you're not together yet. No. Trust me. The work you've been putting in, both of you, there's ripple effects, and it's felt across all ethers, right? Make a commitment. That's with new beginnings and a fresh start. Yay. That sounds really nice. Believe and trust did want to come out, okay? Yeah, again, I feel like that's coming back to the divine feminine as well. Have faith, not just in union, but in yourself, in the process, in divine. Okay, sense of humor. That's like that Sagittarius energy. Again, it's kind of like, you know what? Sometimes you gotta step back and say, oh my God, that's actually, as if that's what's been happening, as if was I really that person? Sometimes that happens, when you're moving through your healing journey. You look back at past versions of you, and it feels like a past life more than anything, because it's so not who you've become, which is beautiful. This situation is already resolved to such a degree that, you have to laugh at things sometimes and think, my gosh, as if I've thought that, as if I felt that, but, it's made me who I am today. We also had Taurus come through. I'm not sure if I said that. With the Hierophant as well, I feel like there's something about belief systems, structures having to be demolished is what I'm hearing, destroyed, in order for this new beginning and fresh start to come through. It's kind of like someone was, their vision was so cloudy because of everything they've experienced, you saw that deception card there. So there's memories and remembrance, longing and desire, and sweet surrender, okay? So I do feel like there's been a lot of nostalgia over this connection from both of you on different cycles of your journey, different times for sure. But divine feminine has learned surrender, which is what's helped the divine masculine get to this stage, okay? And it feels like the longing and desire that you were experiencing, divine feminine, is now the divine masculine going through that, okay? There is something here about jealousy and possessiveness that you need to be really mindful of. Remember, this isn't about caging each other or expecting, there's no attachment, there's no codependency, there's that full faith and trust in your journey. You know what you want, what you deserve. You're not going to accept anything less. Simple, right? And you also need to have faith that what is yours is going to be yours. It's that simple. It's all in divine alignment. If there's anything else you need to know, so I'll tell you what came through. But I also wanted to point out the bottom of this deck was your children are watched over by angels. This is prevalent. I feel like there's something about spirit baby, and with this judgment card specifically, there is kind of a spirit baby present, okay? Eight of Pentacles and the Emperor. So that's just saying that, again, that divine masculine energy is working on itself, truly, to be in their divine self. It's taking time. They've been watering the seeds, but there's been a lot of, like those addictions that I mentioned, that has been putting them down, drawing them down on their energies, but this has been part of their soul journey, soul path that they've needed to transition through, and which they are with the Six of Swords, okay? So there's going to be progress forward, movement, and then the Eight of Wands. Something about that, the eights are important. This just gave me August instantly. Something about, again, summer, August. Okay, so there's definitely conversations moving forwards. Page of Swords. So I've just heard someone could be learning about you through your online presence, potentially, but also there's something about this conversation coming through again, starting small, Temperance, patience. It's time to balance your cups. When you come together, you're going to have to find that alignment with each other and balance those cups with each other. Now, you've been balancing within yourself, and then we've got the King of Pentacles as well, so King and Queen of Pentacles, okay? But right about now, it's that divine masculine energy, focusing on healing what they need to, going through their cycles, processing their emotions, which is so important. Meanwhile, divine feminine, you stay in your glow, you focus on staying in your stability and leveling up in the most beautiful way by accessing that inner sacred union. Okay? Also getting this message that this divine masculine energy is going to be willing to put the work in to make up for whatever they need to make up for, okay? But that's, again, going to be when the time comes that they need to I'm hearing like regenerate their energy. 9 of Wands, this is them. That's that conversation as well. You're going to really hear what they've been going through, and I'm hearing it's been like hell for them, right? Again, that doesn't take you off your current path, right? You focus on you. This is energetically quite needed, actually. We just had the Queen of Cups there as well. It's come out, but yeah, so I just wanted to come out. Okay, so it is about you staying in your compassionate energy, your compassionate nature, loving on yourself a lot. Whatever comes through, taking it face value, but also holding yourself and your emotional intelligence, that intuitive emotion, right? I think you've been healing through so much, so there's no more guards when you approach a situation because you won't be triggered as such, right? So keep healing through that, keep working on that, okay? You're doing beautifully. Both of you are doing really well. And the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, again, this is something that's slow moving, but slow and steady moving, right? So it's not just going to be another tower being created to crumble. Yeah, there's not going to be the past deceptions of the way. You're not going to just run on the high of passion and, you know, this like false ecstasy or whatever. Sagittarius, I feel like especially from potentially Gemini, but certainly summer through to Sagittarius season, there's going to be a lot of progress taking place within this connection and the energy of it, and in the physical. So we just said communication is key, actually just came out, okay? So that's definitely going to be prevalent. A fiery climax approaches, a personal issue reaches resolution, okay? So I do feel like, again, a lot of Gemini energy now. It's kind of like being authentic, being honest, not being driven by impulse, but being true to your emotions now, recognizing everything you've been through to get to this stage, right? And holding faith in what feels like is impossible, but actually is being divinely orchestrated. If there's anyone to hold faith in, it's going to be divine, okay? Stay positive. Stay as much as you can in your heart space. Hold faith in what's happening around you, unraveling in this connection and within yourself, okay? And align with your purpose right now. It feels, I'm hearing like the world needs you, needs your light, okay? So stay in that for you and for whatever this is that's, you know, taking place right now. It's important. Look after yourself, protect yourself, sending so much love.